Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Dan, and this is my garage. We are back on the 289 for the uh, there's one brain dead, the 1945 International K3. Spent so much time working on the engine, forget what it's going in. We are getting close to wrapping up the work on the engine. Today we are last time we got the water pump installed and basically closed up the front of the engine. Today we are measuring for push rods. Because we have the aftermarket Summit Racing camshaft in there. It's not too different from the stock cam, but the lift is a little bit higher compared to stock. So to be safe, we're going to measure for new lifter or for new push rods. For lifters, we were putting stock replacement lifters back in it. Other valve train changes are comp cam 294 pound per inch springs and ARP threaded in rocker arm studs and using the stock 289 rocker arms. So for this, I didn't come up with these instructions. I am going off of Vice Grip Garage's method of doing checking for checking push rod length. I will link his video in the description. Yeah, I'll link the video that I'm following, that I'm following for this, to give him credit, because I am not coming up with this on my own. So I have his procedures written down so I can follow, so I'm not going off the top of my head. Basically what we're going to be doing is I already have the engine on top dead center of the compression stroke for the number one cylinder. So we are on the base circle of the camshaft lobes for that cylinder. So we're going to be putting lifters in the bores for that. And then intake and exhaust at a time, we'll be putting our dummy push rod, or an adjustable push rod that we can thread out to check for length. We'll be putting this in, then installing a rocker arm and its nut, and then initially we'll be setting that rocker arm to 90 degrees to the valve stem. And then after that, we'll be running the nut down to simulate half lift. Instead of going half lift on the cam lobe, we'll be doing half lift on the top end. And I calculated that based on the thread pitch of the rocker arm stud. So we have 3/8 by 24, 3/8 diameter, 24 threads per inch to get the number of turns we need. And that's determined by the lift of our camshaft to get 50% lift. And then once we get the rocker arm at 50% lift, we extend our dummy push rod without compressing our our lifter. And then we'll lock this in, take this out, measure this with a dial caliper. And this will be our push rod length. And since our lift is different on both the intake and exhaust valves, we may come up with different lengths for both the intake and exhaust. But if you average out the lifts on this camshaft, we come right at the factory push rod length. So we may end up be able to get by with factory push rods, or we may end up just ordering a set of intake and exhaust push rods, depending on how far away from factory we wind up. So I'll get the camera repositioned over the engine, and I'll already have shouldn't be necessary, but aid in not compressing our lifters. I have 2 lifters soaking in some SAE 30 engine oil, And I got the lifter bores oiled, so we should just be able to slide those lifters right in. And yeah, so we'll get going on this. Hope we all learn something and we don't, I don't screw anything up. You guys aren't going to screw anything up. You guys are just watching. I'm going to be the one who's going to screw things up. So hope you guys enjoy. All right, I'm already on top dead center per the harmonic balancer and the timing pointer. On any Ford V8, your right forward cylinder is your number one. So this is our number one cylinder. This is the only one that we need to measure because the rest of them should be the same or close enough to it. So let's not spill oil everywhere because that'll just make it more difficult when we paint. We'll be degreasing the engine anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But less we gotta degrease. And these are just stock replacement lifters. They're sealed power stock replacement lifters. Nothing special. Yeah. And they're both sitting down about even inside their bores, so just gonna wipe up the oil from inside that lifter, inside the cup in there. That way we're not, well, we get as accurate as reading as we can. Guess we're gonna have to go. This can go either way. That's wherever you have access to the adjustment nuts. You got 5/16 and then 7/16. 5/16 for the inner barrel, 7/16 for the lock nut. And we are starting with the intake. Need a fulcrum. And I'm gonna eyeball these as 90 degrees to the stem. Oh, nice! I got 6 point for this. There's a casting line that makes it real easy to eyeball the 90 degrees. Yeah, that looks like 90. Okay. Set rocker to 90 degrees with valve stem or as close as possible. Run rocker nut down. And I already did my calculations with 3/8 by 24 thread. That's 0.042 inches per turn. The lift on the intake side, just verify we're on the intake. Yep, we're on the intake. The lift on the intake is 449. So mid lift to be 225. So 225 divided by 0.225 divided by 0.042. That is 5.357 turns, or 5 3/8 turns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/8. So quarter turn is 2/8. So 2/8, 3/8. And now we, with lifter on base circle, take up slack on push rod checker, 0 lash without depressing lifter. And right there. Don't want to depress. Don't want excessive amount of play. But you don't want to start depressing that lifter down there. So, because once it's all installed, you're gonna, after you set 0 lash, you're gonna compress your everything down an additional 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn anyway. So see, that's too tight. Too tight. Getting closer. I want to be able to spin the push rod by hand. Got a little bit of lash still. That might be, can't quite. I think that's probably gonna be as good as we get. I can spin it by hand and we're not too loose there. So still in the shot. Yep. All right. We are 6. 6.79567.8. 6.79567.8. Okay. Originals were 6.804. So 6,000s. That actually makes sense if they milled the heads down. And we came back to 0. This will shorten this back down. I'll wipe it off first. And I'm gonna and we're going for 90. That looks like about 90. And then for this one, 5.643 turns. And so 5 2/3 turns is what I simplified that to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, about 2/3 right there. And then may have compressed the lifter there a little bit. All right, it spins. Yeah. It's off. And yeah, good 0. Maybe over 6. Seven, 5, 6, 7, 7. 7.007. Exhaust. All right. Now with those numbers, have to check the plus or minus, see what the range is for length, and go from there. Actually, I want to double check that one again. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, that's 90. And then 5 2/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay. That's not good. Just galled up the threads on that stud. Exactly what I didn't want to do. Oh, I have to replace that stud. Shit. Well, had a bit of a catastrophe. Double checking that exhaust push rod, the lock nut, the locking nut for the self-locking nut for the rocker arm, decided to gall and seize and strip out, and now we're short a rocker arm stud and a rocker arm nut. So hopefully I'll be able to order just a single ARP rocker arm stud and not a whole kit. So I'll be going online and see if I can't do that, and see if I can't find a locking nut for this original rocker arm set. So in the meantime, yeah, I end up having to stripped it all out. So in the meantime, got lifters, soak the lifters, and then I'm just gonna throw the lifters in. But I've got the numbers on the push rods. I'm gonna see what I gotta do for those. All right, make sure we didn't put one in upside down. All right. All the push rods are in. Now, for more parts. Okay, that's another video. What we do today? We check for push rod length. On the intake, we got essentially 6.8 inches, which is the factory length. Factory length is 6.804. So yeah, the intakes are going to be stock length. The exhaust we got nearest makes no difference, 7 inches. Actually, we measured at 7.007. So yeah, 7 inches on the exhaust. So I'm gonna have to see if that 2/10 is gonna make a difference. If we can get by with stock push rods, or if we're just going to order a new set of push rods. Probably just going to end up ordering a new set of push rods to save ourselves some time and cleaning. And we got to make an order anyway, since when went to go back and recheck the exhaust push rod, I ended up galling up the lock nut, which took out the rocker arm stud. So I had to get a new rocker arm stud to replace that, and that locking nut. So some carnage from that exercise, but we'll get get the replacement parts, and we got to make an order anyway for push rods. So you win some, you lose some. So that's another video. After we get the push rods in, oh, and we also threw in the lifter, rest of the lifters. So after the push rods are in and we get the rocker arms installed, close it up with the valve covers, and that's we're ready to paint the engine. And then the engine's actually done until we need it to install it. Well, need it to fit check. So then we'll be moving on to other things, probably working on the frame, working on the truck again, because we need to do some cleanup work on the tail half of the frame and get working on the suspension mount so we can actually hang the rear end. And also the rear end, we got to rebuild the rear end, brakes and seals mostly. So yeah, stay tuned. We got a lot of work left to go on this truck. So we are no means running out of things to do. So again, thanks for the likes and subscriptions and everything else. So see y'all next time.